My name's Tim Welch. I'm president of the Board of Trustees of Grant Cottage Historic Site, which is 6 miles north of Saratoga Springs in Wilton, but it's very much a part of the greater Saratoga Springs environment because it is where the 18th President of the United States, General Ulysses S. Grant, spent the last 5 weeks of his life. He truly was a celebrity. He was a war hero. He had led the largest army, 550,000 men, to victory. In the summer of 1885, Grant had been given a $25,000 advance by one of the most famous writers of our time, Mark Twain, to write his memoirs. And Grant had always hesitated writing his memoirs because he didn't want to profit from the Civil War. But he was destitute because his son had gotten him into a Ponzi scheme. And he was just diagnosed with throat and tongue cancer. But Mark Twain convinced him by giving him a $25,000 advance and promising him the unheard of deal of getting 75% of all of the proceeds, all of the royalties, that he, Grant, could keep for his heirs afterwards. He had come to Saratoga Springs several times in the past. He loved horses. He loved watching the horses race. He spent the last 5 weeks of his life finishing his memoirs. 3 days before he died, he finished. And the cottage was closed up. Everything in it remained the same. In 1890, it was reopened as a state historic site. When people go up to Grant Cottage, they can see the recreation of a Victorian-era camp, if you will. It's very humble. It's suitable for the kind of man that Grant was. They can see the flowers that were encased in wax to preserve them, the cocaine water that Grant used to try to overcome the pain, the area where he wrote and finished his memoirs, and you can also see the actual writings of Grant. Grant Cottage is unique in other ways because we are a friends group, people who are interested in history, people who are interested in Saratoga Springs, people who want to keep the memory alive of this Victorian-era cottage. Nestled on a mountain with a tremendous view of the Hudson Valley and the greens and the Adirondack Mountains. There aren't too many places in New York State where you can come and see a true Civil War era hero. So Grant lives on at Grant Cottage in Saratoga Springs.